So we're going to go through this website together for the beginning, and then I'm going to give you the link for you to do it on your own. In this activity, you will learn through building the molecular structure of the cell membrane, the makeup and basis for cell membrane function. So we're going to build a membrane virtually because honestly, when we build it with real paper, it's so tedious to cut everything out. I do have models we'll use, but for now we're going to look at it virtually so you can get used to all the shapes of everything. The cell membrane is mainly composed of lipids and proteins, right? So mostly those phospholipids that we saw. So mostly a double layer of the phospholipids. There are two types of proteins. We're not going to worry about the difference in the names of them so much, right? There are rod-shaped fibrous proteins and then globular-shaped. It doesn't matter, right? Phospholipids make up that barrier part. Fibrous proteins span through the membrane. And then inside the cell membrane, we do see different types of molecules. Phospholipids make up most of it. Fibrous proteins are there, and then there's different globular proteins, and they all have different jobs. If you look at it here, you could see the glycoprotein has something stuck on the outside. The pore protein, like pores in your face, opening, and then the channel protein, we see more movement there, right? We see that it opens and closes. So there are all these different molecules that help make up the cell membrane. This is a lot of chemistry understanding of things, but what you do need to know from here is that lipid soluble substances can just go through the membrane. Water soluble need other proteins to help them transport. Now, I remember it that small molecules can go through the membrane because steroids really never come up. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, no problem. They diffuse right through. Glucose, which we need for protein synthesis, which we need for cell respiration, amino acids, which we need for protein synthesis, ions and water, they have to go through those special channels in the membrane. When we look at those phospholipids, the way they line themselves up is by having the hydrophobic heads on the outside, round like a head, and then the hydrophobic tails on the inside. They swim like a tail. Those are the two layers of the membrane. The top layer and the bottom layer, if you want to think about it like that, I like to think the outside and the inside because these go all the way around in the cell or around the outside of the cell, all the way around because the cell is really a sphere. Inside or in between those phospholipids are going to be proteins just stuck in there so they can all do their different jobs. Pores are embedded or stuck in that membrane. That's how water gets in and out. It can just move through, and you see those water molecules just moving through the cell membrane, going outside the cell to inside the cell. Phospholipids on the outside, phospholipids on the inside, all the way around. Then there's other proteins that are channel proteins, the ones that open and close, and you can see how they're all like building the whole membrane together. Those channel proteins open up, they let it in, whoop, get it to the other side. And it can work either way. They can get things out of the cell or into the cell, but they're stuck in the membrane as well. And then there's those proteins we talked about that are stuck with the carbohydrates. Those are on the outside of the cell. So the protein is stuck in the phospholipids, but that carbohydrate extends off the outside to help identify what the cell is. Cholesterol. I know we think about cholesterol as being in foods. Cholesterol molecules are also embedded in the cell membrane, and they have jobs in there, right? They just help to stabilize it a little bit. So when we talk about cholesterol in here, we really mean this cholesterol. It's just kind of stuck in there. It's like just helps with the structure. The most important ones that we care about, channel protein, protein with the carbohydrate. We'll call these both channels that allow things through. What you're going to do now is you're going to go to this website and you're going to do these activities. And as you're doing them, you're going to fill the answers in on your worksheet. So your worksheet has the same questions as this website. So you're going to go to the website. You're going to click all the way through until you get to page 13, and then you're going to do the activities. So, oh, just kidding. Wait. Slide 14, you're going to enter the questions there. Just kidding. So what selects the basic frame? Answer the questions. Those are all on your worksheet. So as you go through the activities, starting on slide kind of 13, kind of 14, it's going to show you what these, oh no, I knew you could drag it. So on slide 13, you're going to start, and you're going to see if you get it wrong, it drags it away. If you get it right, it matches it up. So once you know all the right answers, fill them in on your worksheet. So question 1 of 10 on your worksheet, question 2 of 10, question 3. So as you can see, these are all on your worksheet, on your paper worksheet. All the questions you're going to do are all on here. So as you fill it in the website, starting on page 13, you're going to answer the questions.